This is NDTV. And you're watching NDTV Hindu.
Pongal o Pongal, dear viewers. Hello and welcome to the Bill of Rights show on NDTV Hindu with me, Kuku Alex. This show is for you to voice your concerns and answer your questions as a consumer. As always, we get you reports, stories and discussions with consumer activists so that expert opinions can help you more. Well, it is a day for new beginnings, and if you are thinking of buying that dream house today, we highlight those terms and conditions in the deal agreement that you need to pay specific attention to. If you've just realized that you won't need that bank loan you applied for and want to cancel it, what are the procedures that you should follow so that the loan stays cancelled and your account is not debited? And if the car you just got fixed at the mechanics has started spurting problems again, we show you how to avoid them. All this only on today's Bill of Rights. Well, it is Pongal today, a very auspicious day indeed, a day for fresh starts and for novel ventures. Well, a perfect time to invest in a house to call your own. What consumers usually forget in all the excitement is to look at the finer points when they rush in to seal a good deal, only to repent later. However, if you're smart and aware, it can all have a positive ending, as it happened with this woman. She was quick to spot the loose ends in a land agreement and took the concerned authorities to task. Take a look.
When Tamil Nadu Housing Board could not meet the commitment on a plot booked by Jayalakshmi, she wanted to end the deal for the 200 square meter plot and get her money back. But the TNHB officials asked her to opt for another plot in exchange. Only this was 400 square meters and beyond a purse. When the TNHB authorities refused to reply or return the cash, Jayalakshmi went to the Consumer Forum for aid.
On appeal, the Honorable State Commission, after substantiating all the documents filed by the complainant and in the proof affidavit, it held that the opposite party housing board, without proper boundaries, they measured the 200 square meters, which itself is a deficiency in servers, held that the opposite party housing board should refund the amount of 4 lakhs and odd to the complainant and with the interest.
The Tamil Nadu Housing Board is supposed to construct, maintain and allot apartments for the financially weaker sections of the society. But cases such as Jayalakshmi's show the board in poor light. Experts also say that a consumer must verify that the allotted plot is approved by CMDA if within city limits, or the Tamil Nadu Town and Country Planning Board if it is outside the city limits.
The agreed amount is paid entirely, then the property has to be handed over. In other case, the sale deed has to be executed. There should not be any delay once the entire amount has been paid. On the part of the buyers, they should get it clarified before entering into an agreement that the property doesn't have any encumbrance dispute or the property dispute. Because after entering into an agreement, when there was a dispute, then there was a lot of delay in handing over and developing the property.
Though cases like these are reported frequently, experts say awareness among the consumers is still very low. But the verdict, as in this case favoring the consumer, is expected to encourage consumers to educate themselves on their rights and fight back. In Chennai, Bertila, NDTV Hindu.
A consumer rights activist who joined us for a discussion on this case had this to say.
What are the general procedures, while buying these flat or apartments by these societies? Actually, how do we apply?
Normally, the idea of the government or the housing board is to ensure that the people who have the land or the building, poor who cannot afford to have a construction or aim to be allotted for these sites. So, at the time of booking the plots, ensure that the land is properly got the encumbrance certificate from the previous sellers. The individuals who have been sold the plot to the housing board, they should ensure that the encumbrance certificate is being attached by the housing board and being given to them. And secondly, the approval by the MMDA, or now we call it as a CMDA, it's or the local authority like Panchayat and municipality, they have to give the approval to the MMDA or CMDA. And thirdly, one more thing you have to ensure is when the allotments are made and when suppose 500 plots are being allotted, out of which 10 or 5 would have been given for the park or residential water overhead tank, and the entire stretch of road should be handed over. You insist for a copy, because in many cases what we have been observing is a particular small cut of the road will not be handed over by the previous owner. For obviously, you will block the road by constructing a small wall, and after the particular area gets developed, you will ask for additional money, give me 5 lakhs or 10 lakhs, so that I will open this road. So, the reserved areas like park or over a tank or road or whatever public community like Kalyana Mandapam or society community hall, these areas should be properly handed over, and as a dweller or as a future prospective house owner, you have to ensure that these things are being handed over. And the EMI, the equated monthly installment, should be properly registered, and every month you are paying the money to the housing board should be properly accounted in your file. In many cases, the people get transferred at the office and you are not able to get the documents after that. The very important thing is, after the payment of the entire dues also, we have plenty of complaint from the housing board subscribers saying that you don't properly get the document back. After the repayment, for any reason you are going out of the country, you want to have a somebody wants to get the plot or house sold and get the money and go for higher education of the son or daughter's marriage. They are not able to get the document. Because of that, they are not able to properly encash at the time of their needy hours. And sometimes they will even tell to the extent saying that we will refund the money to you, but at the time of 20 years, the value would have been 50,000. Now it will be about 25 lakhs or something. So, the proportionate increase not only in the particular locality and the neighboring locality should be definitely taken into account. Not only the principal interest, the proportional growth rate should be definitely, inflation rate to be taken into account. Then only the dweller should accept in case of any dispute at the consumer forum or at the housing board society.
Right. Now, do banks help out with these allotment cases, or are there specific eligibility criteria that they look at?
As far as the banks are concerned, the housing board allotment, other things are the same. You have to fulfill all the formalities what I have mentioned earlier, and if these formalities and the copies are being provided, they give the allotment, they give the loan to the concerned borrower. Without these basic documents, nobody will be able to help you in getting the loan also.
Well, if you were talking, you were mentioning a few problems that they can face. Are there any other practical problems that, as a, prospective buyer you would face?
The problem is, in many cases, apart from this, sometimes the seller will not be agreeable to the housing board to sell his property. The government or the housing board will be almost going to the extent of confiscating the property and allotting because of the neighboring locality and development. In that case, ensure that the seller of the previous owner, that is the landowner, the individual, is given a proper compensation for the land they have approached, they have taken, and ensure that the land value is properly given. Otherwise, after 15 years or 20 years, the kith and kin of the previous seller goes to the court and claims any compensation. The housing board will definitely move away, and you will be unnecessarily going in a lot of problem. Of course, you will be getting a solution, but if you want to transfer to your next kith and kin name, the encumbrance will be definitely there. Unless it is cleared, you will not be able to get the name transferred to other individual.
All right. Okay. So, what if a problem crops up after all these procedures are done? You move into the house is built, you move into the house. Only after that do certain problems crop up. So, how do you deal with that? Who do you approach first?
No, definitely every colony has an association. They definitely have an association and they have a president and secretary. Not only that, a special officer connected to the particular cooperative colony or the housing board. A special officer is being designated. You can approach him in case you are not able to sort out within your reach. The special officer or the secretary or the president of the association can be definitely approached. You have any other problem, of course, as usual. For any other cases like NGOs like Consumer Association of India, we are prepared to help them. Any free guidance and counseling.
Time for a quick break on Bill of Rights, but on the other side, banks continue to compound consumer dissatisfaction. Wondering how? We tell you in just a bit. Do stay with us.